Alright, the order will be 4 off.
4 new sheets of paper.
Oh, we just added it.
So yeah, we added like 1 card before. I can compare this. No, do not.
Alright.
4 new sheets.
4 off, and then the competitiveness advantage.
The first advantage, yep.
And then U.S.-India relations advantage.
Alright, so your order should be 4 blank sheets of paper, and then right after those 4 blank sheets of paper, you should have the first advantage that was read, which is the leadership competitiveness advantage. Then after that, put the India advantage. No solvency? No solvency. No solvency.
We'll be attacking the solvency in other ways.
Does everyone have what they need? All right.
Well, no, or yeah.
Those are not. Key part about this, we use as a teaching moment, is that oftentimes in debates we don't have tons of downtime to kind of like, wait for, you to get like lots of materials that you might not have. So being prepared is essential. Having, enough paper, making sure all your stuff is available, because as we know, we're very time pressed. So yeah, just make sure you always have your materials and stuff ready to go so people don't have to wait. All right, ready? Go ahead and start me whether you're ready or not.
First off is topicality. A, interpretation. Legal immigration means citizenship. Mueller 15 with immigration reform as main platform. Many begin to see citizenship as synonymous with legal immigration status, critical to instilling values and ideals, so they are more likely to see themselves as citizens of their community. B, violation. H-1B visas are not key to immigrant citizenship. Corresponds 14. It is a common misconception that H-1B is a stepping stone to a permanent residence or citizenship. It's not. That H-1B allows you to work for a maximum of 6 years. That's it. C, topicality is voting issue. 1, limits. Defining legal immigration to include visas, asylums, green cards, etc. explodes limits on an already large topic, which creates massive and unfair research burden and encourages a race to generic arguments that are divorced from the literature and that kill topic-specific education. 2, education. Conceptualizing legal immigration as citizenship promotes a unique form of civic education that is powerful and relevant in modern-day society. Also, the resolution demands a decrease in restrictions. The app is an increase in H-1B visas, which is not a decrease in restrictions, but rather causes a decrease in restrictions. Affects topicality is uniquely bad, allowing apps to claim that they are the first step towards citizenship, explodes limits and skews ground in favor of the app while preventing us from reading arguments based off of large, immediate changes to legal immigration policy. Next off is the wages DA. High-skilled wages are up and prevent economic decline. Grisham and 17. Tech sector employment grew 3%. Tech occupations across all other industries increased by 2%. These numbers affirm the strength of the U.S. tech industry and its essential in the economy. It employs 4% of the tech employs 4% of the total U.S. workforce, and expanding H-1B visas lower wages and stifles productive innovation. We have the best data. Benderly 15. A new study at Harvard provides strong evidence adding employees on the H-1B visas crowds out employment of other workers and leads to lower wages. H-1Bs do not raise the firm's patenting or employment, and H-1Bs replace other workers who are paid less. We robustly find that H-1Bs cause no significant increase in firm employment, and economic decline causes diversionary war that escalates. Foster and 16. If the U.S. economy takes expect Trump to engage in a diversionary war, psychological traits predispose leaders to a belligerent behavior, thus when based on a faltering economy, leaders who are distrustful and simplistic develop simplistic or risky solutions utilizing military force. The model would predict Trump would respond to even a minor downturn with force. Next off is the STEM counterplan. The United States federal government should substantially increase funding to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programs in schools within the United States. And STEM education is key to U.S. competitiveness and technological leadership. NSF 18. Competitiveness relies on STEM. It's vital for our nation's citizens and for greater prosperity. Businesses across all of the U.S. need STEM workers to be competitive. The jobs that require STEM increased by 24%. Next off is the second counterplan. The United States federal government should negotiate a bilateral investment treaty with the Republic of India, support the Republic of India's efforts to join the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, and promote the sale of U.S. military and defensive technology to the Republic of India. The counterplan solves the U.S.-India relations advantage by facilitating a better intergovernmental relationship. More in 18. Trump has an opportunity to create an even closer U.S.-India relationship. The U.S.-India trade remains far short. The president should negotiate a bilateral investment treaty. Another vital step is to support India's efforts to join APEC. This would offset the Chinese economy while embedding India in a form of a nudge towards economic performance. Declaration of India as a major defense partner. The administration could offer systems for sale. The end goal is to craft a unique strategic relationship and the competitiveness advantage. Hegemony is unsustainable, breeds conflict, and makes war inevitable. Montero in 14. Unipolarity may be durable, but the question whether or not it is peaceful. There's little scholarship and conflict in youth all over the world over the last 2.5 decades. Despite a low level of international conflict, there's been a high level of military activity. The view that unipolarity is peaceful seems unjustified. Unipolar international politics generates conflict. That a unipolar distribution of military power is likely to trigger another war, producing causal mechanism. To the extent that the unipolar remains engaged in the world, is likely to be involved in conflict. The unipolar system provides incentives for wars of two types: those bidding to solve power against another state and those involving other states. And decline is inevitable in a world of Trump. Even if hegemony is good in the abstract, the act puts Trump in the driver's seat was Rex, U.S. primacy, Clark, and Ricketts for 17. Under Trump, the U.S. is slowly more from decline management to a decline denial. The president-elect has little interest in shouldering the burden of the global order, and that means we are closer to the end of the world order. Trump's strategy is decline denial. And transition is inevitable due to multiple failed U.S. interventions and rising powers. Offshore leadership solves conflict while maintaining leadership. Lee 17. The U.S. has tried to extend its leadership deeper. NATO has expanded. The U.S. took the initiative while dealing with North Korea and Afghanistan. However, these actions produced major failures or side effects. These failures have been eroding U.S. unipolarity and causing a transition to U.S. leadership. There are reasons to believe the U.S. offshore leadership will arrive and stay long. The strategic option most benefits both the U.S. will to lead, and it's an unalterable global geopolitical identity of maritime power. And U.S. unipolarity creates competition states that make conflict more likely. That turns the rest of their competitiveness advantage. Browning 17. The growth of nation branding is driving a shift in international politics. In a world of territorial states giving a world of competition states competitive new strategy or need because globalization is collapsing. Just central to this discourse, the idea that national character and the identity become key tends to result in identity, culture, and history being decontextualized and depoliticized in favor of their strategic reassembly and whatever way this seems that might best suit the nation internationally. Now, the U.S.-India relations advantage. H-1Bs don't matter for the overall relationship. Proposed in 17, the H-1B was a non-issue in the official meeting between Trump and Modi. The H-1B was simply a non-starter. The battle is no longer the Americans. And all causes to U.S.-India relations. The America First strategy, the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement, and the ending of the Iran nuclear deal. 3, no Indo-Pak war. Even pessimists admit that there is no escalation. Montgomery and Edelman 15. Attitude external India-Pakistan rivalry, Alfredoism complaints of low-level hostilities will not escalate. Stalemate is likely to persist. It's unclear whether India can gain advantage. Nuclear strikes could discourage retaliation. And there is no internal link to Indo-Pak war. There's no reason why U.S.-India relations stops that from escalating. And democracy doesn't solve war. Gaddick et al. 17. Democracy lowers the hazard of armed conflict. Efforts to assess democratic pacifism that have ignored rivalry as a context for conditioning behavior. Fundamental is to peace is the notion that didactic democracy will associate with lower militarized aggression, but the presence of an external threat may be the key mechanism by which democratic leaders fail to resolve problems non-violently. External threats clearly increase violence. We find consistent evidence democratic pacifism did not survive. Audience cost resolve, and that the electoral pressures are powerful forces which make it difficult for leaders to trust one another, which inhibits the resolution. And H-1B limits boost Indian growth. De Silva 18. It can also be seen as a major gain for the Indian economy. If that happens, then I say welcome home. We're coming back just in time to help India rise the H-1B program. Trump has been cracking down. And telecommuting solved. Swanner in 17. Real work culture might need attention to H-1B jobs into computer-related occupations. A stronger mobile culture could help fill the issue related to H-1B outsourcing. Working remotely is something many professionals are actively seeking. And process delays take the act. Lowell in 7. The timely processing of visas is often confused with the perception that the U.S. system is too restrictive or temporary immigration. The number of STEM immigrants is hardly worth the claims about restrictions. I'm open for prospects.
Who is Mueller writing for Earth Force? It's on the topicality argument.
Yeah, she's a leader for international communications. She creates engagement around Earth Force. She
Earth
in
Force
her,
is like a blog where anyone can go post, right?
No, it's not a blog where anyone can go post. She is a national communications leader and has defined immigration reform and with an intent to define, and it says that what citizenship is a legal immigration status. The H-1B is not that.
But the first phrase is "we think," correct?
Yes.
Did you define the word restriction anywhere in this one in Seashell?
We didn't have to define the word restriction because the plan text says increase H-1B visas. The resolution says reduce restrictions. Those two things.
So is a cap on the number a restriction?
That is not what the plan text does. The plan text
cap
just
on
says
something a
increase
restriction?
the amount.
I just want to make sure I understand that. Is a cap on something a restriction on the number?
Yeah, I guess, but that's not what your plan does.
You don't think our plan removes a cap?
I think that the plan maybe results eventually in removing a cap, but that's the entirety of our effects topicality argument, which is that if the plan eventually results in being topical, that doesn't make it topical.
Okay, so unlimited does not mean cap, no definition of restriction. What else am I missing? Okay, so the Falster card down on the bottom says, we expect a president like Trump to start one major conflict every quarter. What major conflicts has the United States started since the election of the Trump administration?
Well, this evidence does not just say that. It says that if the U.S. economy tanks, then we expect there to be a major conflict every quarter. You're ignoring the first line of the evidence, which is making a kind of if-then statement. Which is
but the bottom says
if
the economy stays where it is, then that's what we expect. The counterplans, can you kick the counterplans at any point in time? Are they conditional?
Yes, the counterplans are conditional.
What about, so India, there's like 3 or 4 things. Are those also, can you go for like the first one and the third one?
Yes.
Can you go for like the third one on India and the STEM counterplan?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 123 2NRs we need to answer?
I don't know how to do math, but maybe.
No.
5 factorial, pretty simple. Okay, let's talk about STEM. What does that mean? Educate STEM where?
The counterplan increases STEM education within the United States. Our evidence from the National Science Foundation is very good and says that competitiveness relies on building a U.S. workforce that is STEM capable.
I got to the National Science Foundation like science. Who is educated? Who? Are we talking kindergarten? Are we talking college?
In schools within the United States. I assume in the 2NC we will clarify further in order to beat the solvency deficit that you're going to make, which is not going to be good. All right.